got a friend, Dave Gustafson, who, get this, had a double stroke. Does golf help in recovery? Does golf help your health? Well, we're going to talk to Dave and find out this story. But first, let's go with Dave to the range and help his golf game just a little bit. What was the best part about the recovery through golf?
I think just building small wins. If I could hit a ball square, you know, and there's nothing like hitting an iron or a driver or whatever square on the club face.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing like
Oh
that.
yeah.
So if you could just do it one time out of the 80 balls you hit that day, and sometimes it would take more than 80. It might take a couple hundred balls to actually hit one square. But if I could hit it once, it brought me back the next day.
You love the game.
Oh yeah.
You know a lot about the swing. I've seen Dave here, Gus, hit the ball. He's got a couple things that we're going to work on that are really going to help you. But first off, let's see the positives of his swing. So let's go over here and hit a couple. Well, as Rocky Balboa said, he ain't no bum from the neighborhood. He's more than that.
Thank you very much.
Good swings, good swings. You can learn a lot from Gus's swing here. He does something really unique today. His hands at address are really close to his thighs, really close, which once you learn that, gives you great consistency. The other thing that you have, which is unique, is a very narrow stance. The modern swing is wide with huge rotational. The upper body, the trunk, so forth, but this is more narrow, hands in, and he is an excellent ball striker because everything is in here and it is compact. What's your problem?
Sometimes I pull hook, so I'm trying to make sure that I get low and left in the left hand square at the contact.
You want me to give you a quick tip?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What I saw, stand up here and go ahead and address the ball. Your right shoulder is a little bit up and out this way.
Okay.
It needs to be a little bit more down and back. That's all.
Okay.
This shoulder here, when it begins to take over, and that's that little pull draw.
Right, right.
And that's, so apart from that, your swing is unique. It's great. You're an excellent, excellent ball striker. If you'd get that right shoulder back and down, you're gonna, so let's try it.
All right.
There. Okay. Give me 5.
That was right on the,
that
was right on the path that I was looking for.
Yes, that was, so he's an excellent, excellent golfer. The game contributed to his recovery in an enormous way. So let's talk more about what you went through. Double stroke?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
So it was definitely unexpected. I mean, you know, lived most of my life, played a little bit of college baseball, ran a couple half marathons, played hockey all my life since I was 4, was playing about 4 or 5 times a week. And one morning I woke up and, you know, I'm having a major headache and arms and legs are just going around with it, you know, on their own. And I was having a double stroke at that point in time. So I was born, we're all born with a hole in our heart. It's called a PFO. And mine never closed, and so a blood clot went through my heart, hit the hole in my heart, and when it hit my brainstem, went straight to my cerebellum, which is the part of your brain that controls all your physical skills and your motor skills. And so it really took me down to the bottom. You know, I mean, the first year was pretty sedentary, was laying around a lot, laid in bed a lot, did a lot of physical therapy, did a lot of speech therapy. Actually had my driver's license taken away, had to relearn how to drive.
Wow.
Relearn how to walk. Went from a walker to a cane to an upside down putter.
What did you feel like? That had to be so difficult to be, as you said, you were athletic and so forth, and suddenly just hardly able to function.
That was probably the hardest part. Was more, I mean, there was definitely a lot of physical challenges, but the emotional challenge was the hardest part because of the fact that cognitively, I didn't lose any cognition. So I knew what I felt like before, and I knew that I couldn't do things. So it was very, very, very challenging, and so it was very upsetting and made me very, very disappointed and a bit depressed. I had to learn how to stack small wins, not big wins. You know, when I say that, I mean like I'll be a little bit better tomorrow than I was yesterday. And no matter how small it was, I had to consider that a win. Until I really mentally got into that, or got that mindset of stacking maybe 5 good wins to making a bigger win, that mentally it was a very, very low part for me.
Let's go back to the drama.
Sure.
You had that morning,
Yes.
early in the morning that it hit. Did you panic?
I knew something was catastrophically wrong. I don't think I panicked. I was having a hard time controlling my bodily functions at that point in time. My arms and legs and things were moving around uncontrollably, and so I was able to have my wits about me and start grabbing a lamp and making a bunch of noise so I can get somebody to come out and take care of me.
Right. So they came.
Yes.
And picked you up and took you directly to the hospital?
Directly to the hospital. Barrows Hospital brought out their ambulance. They have a stroke ambulance. Phoenix Fire Department had another ambulance. So they were able to get me off the floor, having convulsions, get me onto a gurney, get me out into the ambulance, and do some tests and see that I was having a stroke. At that point in time, I couldn't talk, so we were doing hand pumps. You know, the technician or the ambulance, stroke ambulance person was able to give me his hand, and 1 was no, 2 was yes. And I could hear him talking, but I couldn't communicate back. And so he told me I was having a stroke. So they quickly gave me the TPA medication to help break up the clot. And at that point in time, then they transferred me into the Phoenix ambulance and then took me down to the hospital at that point in time.
What was the hardest, most difficult part of your recovery? It had to be difficult to be so debilitated.
I think initially it was just physical mobility and just actually getting your brain to move your body. But then it became harder and harder to speak, or it was difficult to speak, but just enunciating words, you know, because when we speak, we learn this as infants, you know, like where to put your tongue and where to put your lips and when to breathe when you're talking.
Yeah.
You know, so I had to relearn all of that. So sometimes I would just be mumbling along and wouldn't breathe. I had to stop, breathe in, and then gather some air and then mumble some more. But like, as I was talking about earlier, was just the idea of controlling your lips, your tongue. It's not about running. It's about, you know, you think about when you say the word think, like where's your tongue go? When you say the word word, where do your lips go?
Right.
And when to actually breathe. So I would be listening to people, listening to what they say, and then I would try to answer them. And I had to actually think about the answer cognitively, but then I also had to think about where to put my tongue, when to breathe, where to put my lips. So I called it mental gymnastics because it was literally like doing the Olympics.
But here's the amazing thing to me about you, is it wasn't that long ago. It was during COVID. And,
Correct.
And here you are, you look absolutely healthy, you look vital, you got great golf swing and so forth. That's a pretty amazing short recovery. Is that unique to you, or do most people who've had a double stroke, are they able to recover?
I think some are able to recover. Every stroke is unique to the person. So how much damage it does and how much are you able to recover is dependent upon every person, every individual is different. I think I was lucky enough to where I was a little bit younger and in pretty good shape. You know, I wasn't overweight, didn't have high cholesterol, so my body was able to work on things, and maybe my mindset of having some grit and some internal fortitude. I just refused to take the no as the answer. I was like, I am going to figure this out. So when people, my doctor, my stroke doctor, my cardio doctor told me I would not get better after 1 year. And at 1 year, I was struggling. You know, I was in pretty bad shape. I was not able to do a quarter of what I can do today. And I just said, no, I'm not going to take that as an answer.
What would you say to people who've had a stroke? And also, is there anything to do to help prevent that possibility?
You know, I think a lot of people have strokes because of their weight and cholesterol levels. You know, that is a main factor on that. If you stay in good physical shape, keep your mind active, keep your cardiovascular system working, and watch what you eat. You know, I think that really allowed me to help recover because I was already doing those things. But I think on the recovery side of it is it's the most frustrating thing you're ever going to go through, I think. And you have to have some mental grit and determination. And I think a good caregiver or family member or help along the way of being positive will keep you going. You know, it's like rolling a ball down the hill.
Speaking of rolling a ball down the hill.
That's what we love to do.
That's putting, a downhill putt. But let's talk about how golf played a part in your recovery.
So after 1 year, I was no longer, insurance would not pay for anything. And I love the game of golf, I always have. And I just figured that getting outside in the sunlight and getting out there and doing something I enjoy to do, and I didn't have to talk. I could go to the range. I didn't have to talk because that was the hardest thing that I could do. You know, I was able to get out there and just enjoy the sunshine, and I felt like that was good for my mentality, my soul, and it kind of fed me a little bit mentally. I was just like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing a little bit better. You know, when I started off, after 1 year after the stroke, I couldn't hit a 5-iron 100 yards. You know, and so I just, each weekend or each day, I would try to hit a few more balls, and just being outside, meeting good people, being in great areas, and just, again, I felt like every day was a win, you know, and just try to stack. If I could hit 102 yards the next day, it was better. So, I mean, I know that I'll never get back to where I once was, but I'm just trying to be the best that I can each day.
Well, that's the great thing about golf, because it's a personal challenge.
Every day.
Yeah, and to, like you said, to be the best you can be. Hearing you tell the story about not being able to hit a 5-iron more than 100 yards reminds me of Hogan after that tremendous automobile crash that he had. And then, you know, he could not even balance himself when he first started hitting. He had to hit, and he'd kind of stumble and regain his balance and so forth. And yet, within a year, first thing he plays, the LA Open, and he ties Sam Snead. And there's something inside you, something inside Hogan that a lot of people don't have. How would you describe it?
I think it's just intestinal fortitude. You know, I've had some great mentors in my life at a young age, and just being disciplined and just staying steadfast and moving forward, trying to apply those things to keep moving forward.
Well, you're an inspiration.
Thank you very much.
To so many.
Your time.
And gosh, golf. It's the game of a lifetime, and it's also great for your health. Thanks for watching.